All right guys, we're in the bunker. It's a little too bright, so shades come on here. One of the main things that I see when I play pro-ams with amateurs, it's a poor setup. Way too many of you have the ball back in the stands and more of a square club face, and the sand iron with a bounce is designed to, as it sounds, bounce through the sand and help you. Not if you do like this, then now you're gonna have your leading edge really like just dig into the sand, and you won't get a splash. You get a deep divot, and the ball, as you can see, is going nowhere. So you got to be much more willing to put the ball more on your left foot. So move it forward in the stance. You want to have the shaft angle much more towards you, and with an open face, because now you're exposing the bounce more, then you got to let the club pass underneath in the sand. And if you do it correctly, I can even do it with one hand and hit a proper bunker shot. But you can see I'm letting it pass underneath. The loft is staying on, and the ball will go up into the air. So ball more on your left heel, face open, club more, or shaft angle more towards you, and let that club head pass under the ball, and then it will be elevated shot, and you shouldn't have much problems in the bunker. So try that and good luck. Okay, so when I play a lot of pro-ams, I see far too many poor approaches from 60, 70, 80 yards, and a lot of times it's the old-fashioned 60-degree wedge that comes out. Someone goes at it like a mad axeman, and it just turns into, yeah, not a good result, if I put it that way. So I'd suggest instead you take either a pitching wedge or a gap wedge. I got my 52-degree, and you obviously need to practice this a little bit before you use it, but just like a nice little narrow stance, get a slightly longer wedge than that 60-degree, and then just make a nice little clip at it, and you hit a nice little 70-yard pitch. Of course, there's times where you really need to have that aerial shot, and it needs to come into a tight pin. But for the most part, when you guys play, there's plenty of green to work with. Just find that rhythm on a pitching wedge or a gap wedge, and just throw that 70, 80-yard shot in there, and you'll set up a lot more par or birdie chances. So we're talking about playing in the wind. Me personally, hit the ball quite high. I've struggled a little bit, I find, with taking an 8-iron and kind of try and keep it down and hit it hard. So for the most part, if it's really windy, I would club up. Instead of trying to keep an 8-iron really low, I would take a 6-iron and just make like a 3/4 swing, and that way control my ball flight. So that's obviously a good way to do it. So instead of taking a 6-iron here, I got a 4-iron. Might move the ball back a little bit, grip down a little bit on the grip, and then just make like a nice little 3/4 swing and just like punch it in there, and that keeps the ball flight down and, you know, gets it through the wind. So that's one way of doing it. But if you really want to play that stinger, I'd say what you want to do in the downswing, you probably want to feel like you're letting this wrist turn down a little bit more, so that way you can kind of de-loft the club a little bit in the downswing. I would move the ball back again in the stance if you really want to keep it low, and then maybe turn that wrist down, and that way kind of keep the ball down. So if your wrist is going that way, obviously the face will kind of follow a little bit as well. So that's one way of doing it, and just try them out and see what works. So the question I get a lot of times is, how do I shave a couple of strokes off my score? And I think one of the easiest places would be on the green, and it would be better pace control. So I'm about 25 feet away from the hole, and I put a club behind the hole about 2 feet past it, which 2 foot is a good pace to kind of hit all your putts at. So all you got to try and do is put as many putts, either make it or you leave it short of the shaft, but you still get it to the hole. And you obviously want to make it, but what I see the most amateurs go wrong is that they leave themselves 6, 7, 8 footers from this distance for the next one, and you're gonna miss those putts if you keep on leaving yourself so long return putts. So distance control, that's guaranteed gonna shave a couple of strokes off your score. So some of you might have seen me in my pre-shot routine, in my practice drill, that I stand like this with the toe down on the club, and yeah, I wouldn't really try and hit it that way, but it just gives me a heightened sensation of where that position is. So if I set up, I'm going to hit a shot, and I have the club with the toe down, and I swing back. I know I want to kind of come back and return with that toe in that same position, and it just like gives me that feeling. So if you feel like you're a little lost with where the club face is in the swing and so on, try that drill. Toe down, I swing back, and I swing back down here with the arms underneath my shoulders, and I really feel like that's where it needs to be. And then yeah, you flip it around before you hit the shot. Make sure you do that. All right, I hope some of those tips might help you improve your game, and thanks for your support. So keep watching, and see you later.